What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to Sole Vice. Thanks for joining me once again. I hope you're doing well out there. Today we're taking a look at my second favorite shoe of all time, the Air Max 90 in the infrared colorway, or as they called it this time around, the Air Max 3 in the Radient Red colorway. I'll be giving you an in-depth review on these. I'm gonna let you know exactly what I think about them. I'll give you all the details I think you should know about before you decide whether or not this is a shoe you wanna cop for yourself. And as always, you're gonna be getting buttery smooth 4K on-feet footage and B-roll to go along with that. Now I know that these dropped a while ago, but I ended up getting these as a Christmas/birthday gift back on the 24th of December. So it was a little bit late, but being that these are my second favorite shoe of all time, I just couldn't pass up reviewing these for you guys. Speaking of late reviews, today I'm actually doing 3 different reviews that I'll be releasing kind of like staggered out here. But they're all shoes that I got late, but I just couldn't pass up reviewing them. They're that good, so be on the lookout for those. But before we get to the review of the infrared 90s, do me a huge favor. Smash the like button, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and make sure to hit the notification bell. That way you're notified when I post new videos. We're working our way to 2,000 subscribers. We're almost there, so I could really use your help to get there if you haven't subscribed already. So to end off the 30th anniversary celebration of the Air Max 90, they released the most iconic OG colorway ever released, being the infrared 90s. Now this time around they went with the old name, the Air Max 3 in the Radient Red colorway. It's pretty much the same shoe. Obviously the infrared color always changes from year to year anyway, so I think it's kind of pointless to compare infrared to Radient Red just because infrared's never the same anyway. But this is the closest thing that we've had to an infrared 90 in 4 or 5 years, I think. So I'm super stoked to finally have these in the collection. I've wanted these since before I was really collecting sneakers. I've always been aware of these and have just always loved this colorway. So I'm super stoked to have them. Not only that, but I'm super stoked to have a pair that's so close to the originals. Nike really did their thing on these. They went as close to the originals as possible. So when it comes to the shape and the materials and details, these are really, really close. So the cool thing is the OG details start before we even get to the shoe. They gave us the original style box that came with the Air Max 90. Thankfully, it's a little bit bigger box because the old ones were really small and they actually smushed the shoes together. And they kind of started doing that at the beginning of the year with the first Air Max 90 releases that they started putting out. But a lot of people complained because it was actually like causing issues with the shoes. So they gave us a little bit bigger original style box for this release of the Air Max 90s. Now, usually you get 2 different labels. So there's your kind of like more current style of the label that they put on the box. This was also supposed to come with like an original style tag as well on the box, but for whatever reason, my pair doesn't have that label. Now on the inside of the box, it doesn't even stop there. You also get this OG style kind of like catalog that comes with it. So on the outside, it's got a few of the Nike running athletes. And then on the inside, there's actually a couple different like things that go along with the Air Max 90s. So you've got the Air Max 90s as well as like a duffel bag with some clothing, one of the other original colorways of the Air Max 90s as well. I want to say that's the eggplant style or the eggplant colorway of the Air Max 90. So they didn't stop there either. You also get your little arch pillows. So if you want some extra arch support, which I actually will end up putting these on my insoles, you've got those. And then you've also got an OG style hang tag. So I mean, they really went through all the trouble to make these as close to the OG as possible. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get to the shoes. So taking a look at the upper here, we've got a mixture of synthetic leather, synthetic suede, we've got some mesh, a little bit of nylon up here on the tongue, and then some rubber and plastic details to go along with all of that. Now the materials used here are not premium materials per se, but I will say I like the materials that they chose. So for instance, this kind of synthetic suede that you've got on the side that wraps around the toe, it's kind of like a felt-like material. And this is actually a nicer version of that material than what they use like on the turquoise Air Max 90s and the other Air Max 90s earlier in this year. You had, you know, the Hyper Royal ones, you had the Volt pair, all of that used really similar materials, and it's kind of a lot smoother than what you have here. This is a little bit furrier or I guess shaggier, and it just adds another layer of depth to the shoe, a little bit more texture, and I really, really like that. Also, the mesh here is a little bit softer than what you've got back there on that turquoise pair. It's very slight, but I was able to notice a difference. So even though it's not premium materials, they used the best version of those materials that they had, and I do appreciate that. Now looking at the midsole here, you've got this polyurethane midsole done in white with this huge infrared shark fin is what I call it. It looks like a shark fin to me. It's always reminded me of that, with this big white Air Max unit right here in the heel. Also a nice touch is they actually gave us an Air Max unit in the forefoot as well. A lot of times with Air Max 90s, they go without that. They figure people aren't gonna see it, so they probably won't complain. But to have a real true OG version, retro Air Max 90, you've gotta have that Air Max unit in the forefoot, and they did give it to us on this pair. Now moving down to what is probably my favorite outsole of all time, maybe tied with the Air Jordan 6. But either way, I absolutely love this outsole. So up on the toe here, you've got a hit of infrared, black on the forefoot area. Down in the midfoot, you've got these huge infrared blocks on either side. And then you've got the black that kind of just like squiggles through the middle of the infrared. It just looks like it kind of like melts down to the heel. I cannot say how much I love the design of this outsole. Just super iconic in my opinion. Now the insole is done in infrared. You do have a Nike Air logo right there on the heel done in white. Please forgive me, this is a little bit dirty. I have worn the crap out of these shoes since I got them. Now the cool thing is if you flip the insole over on the bottom, you've got the traction pattern from the Air Max 1. So this is a cool way for them to kind of keep the storytelling going. Both of these shoes were designed by Tinker Hatfield, so I love that callback to the Air Max 1. And then in the kind of like arch area here, that's actually where you install the arch pillows. You get like sticky pads that come with them, and it kind of just sticks to both sides, so that way those arch pillows don't go anywhere. Now, speaking of the inside of the shoe, one other detail I think is definitely worth mentioning. On the back side of the tongue, you get this retro OG style size tag, which is really, really cool. I don't think I've ever seen that on a Nike Retro, so it's really cool that they did that. Also, you get the size stamped on the inside of the shoe. I don't think they've done either one of those things since 1990 when these first came out. So super cool to see that on this pair. Now, as far as sizing goes on these, I did go true to size, and I think they fit perfect. I am kind of probably on the wider side. I wouldn't say I have wide feet, but I definitely don't have narrow feet, and these fit great. I have heard some people say that if you want a roomier fit, go up a half size, but I really would not. I think these are true to size all the way. And if you haven't heard, these are super comfortable. Not only do you have this huge Air Max unit in the heel, surrounded by this soft polyurethane midsole that does a really good job of cushioning, but the upper on these is also really comfortable. Really lightweight and breathable. These are probably some of the more comfortable Nikes that I have in my collection. So if you're looking for a comfortable Nike Retro, this is definitely one that I would suggest picking up. So all in all, I am super stoked to have these in the collection. These are absolutely amazing, and I think Nike did a great job on retroing these and making them really close to the originals, and I could not be happier to have these in the collection. Let me know what you guys think about the Air Max 90 Infrared or Air Max 3 Radiant Red down in the comments below. Again, if you haven't, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video. Later.